we heard a lot about Iranian history and the dynamics, international dynamics. This situation that is in Iran is very difficult for me, because I tend not to see things in black and white. And as an Iranian who has been very concerned, focused on Iran and what has been happening in Iran, it's particularly difficult for me because there are issues that I'm very concerned about, and I would stand up for anybody, any place in the world. And as a progressive, I think I have to maintain my integrity rather than to close my eyes on my friends when they do bad things, and then constantly highlight the wrongdoings of the people that I don't agree with. What I wanted to say here is that no matter where we come from, there should never be any support for US or any outside forces intervening in any country, particularly in Iran. There should be no sanctions. Not only sanctions are not humane, but are not effective even for the purpose of the people who do it. Invasion of Iran or any other country is out of the question, but Iran has been highlighted, and especially I think since the Iranian Revolution and establishment of Islamic Republic, by United States, and particularly Israel. That's the way angle that I see, and I've seen it continuously, and it continues, and has actually heightened now. We got Islamic Republic. I've never been supportive of Islamic Republic because I am for secular government. And Iranian government has a lot of problems. Iranian government is not the greatest government in the whole world. It's very repressive. It has many things that actually Phil said. Many things are correct. But at the same time, Iranian government arrests people. The Iranian government attacked the university dormitories right after the election. People were asleep. People were arrested. People were killed there. And I cannot close my eyes to that. And I want that to be very clear for us to see the complexity that exists in Iran. Because I would not stand for the same thing in the United States. If they arrest me, I want somebody to know where I am. Not in 3 months, but immediately. When in Washington, they're disappearing us for about a day before anybody knowing, to me always this is a problem. This has happening historically under the Shah and under this regime in Iran. I don't want to see it. So those are all facts, and we have to be cognizant of it. As progressive also, this is my concern, that we are losing credibility because we always are willing and able to close our eyes to misdeeds of our own friends or people that we sympathize with, rather than being very straightforward and open and criticize them and help the process to move on and make it better. Having said all of this, and in defense of my saying that we don't need any intervention in Iran, Iran is a very progressive society, has consistently been. And women have been at the forefront of Iranian movement for a long time. You may be surprised to hear that one of the first, before the turn of the last century, women of Iran, when the government of Iran, the previous, not the Shah Pahlavi regime, but Qajar regime, give tobacco concession to British. Women got very angry because they didn't like the agreement that was made. They went and they confronted the regime and said, we are going to take off our veils if you don't change this. You have no spine, you are succumbing to the British, the outsider, to control our resources. And they were in millions. They were in millions active in the revolution. And they remained active. Actually, they were the only group that were questioned or attacked the first time by Khomeini on March 7th. But they remained active on the unorganized way to get their rights back. To whatever the government, actually, the Islamic government took a number of the rights of Iranian including women, especially the family protection law was taken away. And university women were not allowed to be in 95 fields of education. But Iranian women fought that there were conditions, we have to acknowledge that there were conditions that allows within 8 or 9 years, women numbers in universities started growing because they reversed some of those original, there was culture, basically was culture and educational revolution that the government brought in. So they have shown that they are very much capable. And within the Islamic Republic, with all the things that is going on, they have room to maneuver and have withheld, pushed back. And these are all women. It's not only westernized women, it's not middle class, it's not the bourgeoisie. It's all women of all classes, including Muslim women. They have fought the repression that any government brings, and we would like us as people to be standing in our government and questioning. And they have done that. Therefore, for me, they are capable, Iranian people are capable of taking care of their own issues. And they don't need outsider to tell them what is right and what is wrong. Actually, when we look at what happened in Iran, no matter what part, I don't have firm belief about the election. I wasn't there. I don't have all the data. I have seen things from all sorts of things that I don't think was, if it was happening here, we didn't like it, we wouldn't like it. But beside all of that, in this very repressive, very bad government, people in hundreds and thousands and millions, when they thought, rightly or wrongly, that their vote was, they went out. They could go out. And that is an incredible statement about the power of Iranian people to take care of themselves. And I'm saying this not because they are Iranian people or different genes, but there are historical condition and situation that makes them always question their government. They never believe their governments, no matter what the governments say. Therefore, they stand against the government and they stand for their rights. So we have 2 stolen elections in this country. That's, as I'm saying, Iran is not perfect, the Islamic Republic is not perfect, but this is what we have. And the people in Iran are taking care of it themselves. But my concern is that there are lots of agents provocateurs in the process. I have looked at pictures, I have seen things, I have families, especially in Europe, and also in the United States, actually very close to here in New York, that are very much people who have never been involved in politics. They are very much involved in politics. And one of my work, and I see them where they are coming, and I know where they are coming from. They have their own class interests. And they are working very hard. But one of the things that we need to know, and is almost like under the radar, is the consistent organizing in France. From my perspective, what has happened, Sarkozy, as we know, have been very strong allies of Israel. He has changed, actually, basically, France's policy. And as part of the Union and United States wanting to control Iran in some ways, as everybody talked about, they have decided that this might be the right time to influence inside Iran, use the opportunity, whatever opportunity they get, to influence this. And this is what they have been doing, particularly because Israel has gained a lot of power, has become supremacy, has gained supremacy after the revolution in Iran, and has been this favorite son. Not that the favorite child, not that the United States is talking about maybe talking to Iran. They have been spreading all sorts of rumor and all sorts of misinformation like they did in Iraq. And Mossad has been sourceful in the US, lots of US information to promote, in order to keep their position. We need to maintain, so this is all of these forces, and including Mujahideen, that United States has been supported in Iraq, are very active in Paris and some parts of Europe. So we have to be very cognizant. But at the same time, I want us to start thinking, how are we going to talk against intervention, talk against sanctions, talk against invasion, any interference in affairs of Iran, but at the same time that we protect the Iranians' human rights.